Hello and welcome back to the Concept Checkup. The point of Concept Checkup is to dive into the Warframe forums, look for a community-made Warframe concept, and talk about it. For the purpose of Concept Checkup, I will use my custom-built evaluating method known as AS. Without further ado, let's begin the checkup. For today's checkup we have Hypatia, the Alchemist Warframe. Hypatia was created by FoxFX on the Warframe forums, who also created the previously covered Tanuki frame concept. Hypatia's existence is entirely caused as a result of Trinity essentially being the only valued supportive frame. Oberon is also a supportive frame, but really when compared to Trinity, he's very rarely picked over her. Hypatia is supposed to serve as an alternative to Trinity, but will still function as a healer/support frame. Hypatia is a somewhat squishy frame, with low health and armor, but high shields and energy capacity, combined with an above-average sprint speed. Before I begin, I would like to state that Hypatia has augment mods, but since Hypatia has a lot to her kit already, I will not be covering them here. If you're interested in checking out Hypatia's augments, go to the link in the description. Hypatia's passive is Extensive Gathering. Hypatia can detect nearby items and pick them up from a distance, like Carrier's Vacuum, but Hypatia has a smaller range than Carrier's Vacuum. I see this passive as a convenience, but since it gives Hypatia an innate mini-vacuum effect, some of you might consider it a game changer because Carrier is not mandatory with Hypatia. Hypatia's first ability is Flask. Flask is the alchemical equivalent of Ivara's Quiver, but let's go over this anyway. Flask has 4 different choices. The first choice is Combustion, which deals blast damage, sending enemies flying. The second choice is Acid, which creates a toxic puddle that deals toxic damage to all enemies that cross it, and also has a certain chance to melt away enemy weapons, effectively disarming them. The third choice is Greedy, which acts as an AO blast. All enemies caught in the blast are turned into gold statues, and drop credits when transformed. The gold statues can be hit to drop additional credits, and each hit deals % health damage to nearby enemies. The fourth choice is Tonic, which is also an AO blast. All allies in the blast have all procs on them removed, and Tonic leaves behind a residue that restores health to nearby allies every second. Flask seems a little bit overloaded, but let's go over it bit by bit. Combustion's fine, as it functions as a simple damage and room clearing skill. Acid is also fine, although I would prefer that it melt away enemy armor instead of weapons. Greedy seems a bit random here, but then again Hypatia is the alchemy warframe. As long as Greedy isn't an easy credits gain ability, it's fine on paper, but the % health damage that applies to nearby enemies just makes Greedy a cheese skill to use to easily clear a room. Tonic is also fine, but the heal and proc removal might make Oberon pointless, depending on how effective Tonic is. Despite being really packed, Flask has potential to be a different take on Ivara's Quiver. Hypatia's second ability is Discovery. With Discovery, Hypatia targets an area and spawns either health, energy, or Omni Ammo, which replenishes ammo for all weapons, same as the Omni Ammo from the Conclave. If an enemy is nearby the range of Discovery, they are knocked down and take puncture damage. Depending on the effectiveness of Discovery, it might or might not make the Sahasaku Brow pointless. The addition of knockdown and puncture damage to nearby enemies can make Discovery a semi-crowd control ability, which I find interesting for a supportive frame like Hypatia. Hypatia's third ability is Stimulation. Stimulation is a temporary buff that applies to everyone in Hypatia's squad, and they are buffed depending on what they pick up on the battlefield. Allies that pick up health orbs gain temporary health regeneration, allies that pick up energy orbs gain 1 energy per second for a limited amount of time, and allies that pick up ammo gain more damage with that ammo for the amount of shots it gives. I like the premise of Stimulation, because in a heavily mobbed map like T4 Survival or Defense, teammates will always be picking up ammo, or picking up orbs. In neither case, an additional buff would certainly help, which would make Stimulation the pickup version of Trinity's Blessing, as it should almost always be active. Hypatia's fourth ability is Cauldron, which has multiple effects, so brace yourself. Upon activation, Hypatia spawns a cauldron which provides health and energy regeneration for a certain amount of time in a certain radius. Cauldron has a base duration of 30 seconds, and once the 30 seconds are up, cauldron explodes, spawning a homunculus. The homunculus will fight on its own, much like Atlas's rumblers, and the homunculus becomes stronger based on how much ammo and how many orbs were picked up by Hypatia when cauldron was active. While cauldron is active, Hypatia can throw a flask into it to give the homunculus an additional effect. Throwing combustion will make the homunculus explode when its duration ends. Throwing acid will give the homunculus a gas aura and make its attacks deal toxic damage. Throwing greedy will give the homunculus the ability to make nearby enemies attack it and the ability to reflect all enemy projectiles. And throwing tonic will give the homunculus the ability to generate pulses that heal teammates, and remove one proc for each pulse. Phew. The regeneration portion of cauldron is fine, but the homunculus portion of it seems a bit gimmicky. Since Hypatia is a support/healer frame, I don't really see why she has the ability to spawn an AI that fights for her, but then again, alchemy. Considering all the ammo, health, and energy regeneration that Hypatia provides, I can see her being a beast with high enough power strength in late game. However, while that makes Hypatia a formidable rival to Trinity, she needs to have high enough regeneration to be a solid competitor, but not so high that she completely overshadows Trinity. With that aside, here are Hypatia's scores. Hypatia seems like a complex, but useful take on the supportive role in Warframe. Despite being severely overloaded in some areas and taking the concept of multiple abilities in one from Ivara, I really like Hypatia's look and skills. An alchemy Warframe would sound like a great addition if executed properly. For my personal thoughts, I haven't seen a Warframe concept appeal this much to me since Vector, but even then I worry that Hypatia might have a very overloaded kid behind her, in addition to having no defensive abilities to speak of, unless you include her homunculus. So that's Hypatia's checkup. Tune in next time where I will perform a concept checkup on Henya. Thank you for watching.